I'd like to introduce myself. Jared Wright. I work on the GE Digital Predix Cloud engineering team. And pretty excited to be here today. We talked with you, Val, about 5 months ago and had a kickoff call. And when we first got together, it was pretty exciting, his ideas and what the foundation is and how it was going to, we think, change GE's ability to, to deliver our platform from edge to the cloud in regions around the globe. So I'll give you a little background about Predix and what we are, what we do at GE Digital, and tie it into how we think Open-19 is going to help us. So industrial computing is interesting. It's different than the consumer internet to some degrees. There's a lot of similarities, right? You have the necessity of cloud computing, distributed computing, and it's working with operational technologies, informational technologies, and tying all that together. There's a lot around security and other components that are really critical to getting that machine data back to where it needs to get computed. And over time, there's definitely a different profile for industrial data versus what our phones are and other things that we use day to day. So areas around like ERP, systems of record, and those types of systems are traditional. Systems engagement like Salesforce.com and others, more traditional. But for us, with the industrial assets that we have, there's a different need for a platform that can deliver that. And that's what we're working on, and that's what we would call Predix. And we think that's got some legs, and we think that that can tie into Open-19, and that's why we're here. So what is the industrial world, and what does that mean? People say industrial internet. For us, that's connecting the machines, right? It needs to meet the needs of our customers, our clients, and GE ourselves, our own verticals. And it needs to be a platform that scales and grows and can support the vast amount of data that's coming, right, over time. There's a lot of asset information that's coming in. It's got to be consumed and analyzed, with algorithms and historical data, and then give outcomes to our customers and provide value back. And that's not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of environmental variables that affect that, and over time, we're going to get to a point where we do have the ability to take an asset from the edge all the way to the cloud and give that whole ecosystem, and that's what we're working on building. That's where we think Open-19 can add some value. So this is an overall view of how we look at the platform and Predix for us. We sort of start at the edge there, and the edge is a lot of things to us. It can be a small appliance, it can be a gateway, it can be sensor data that's on an asset. And it can be any combination of those. And all that needs to get from that location, wherever that may be. It could be an oil rig, it could be a train, locomotive, it could be, in the middle of a desert on a windmill farm. Lots of areas that could be. And that needs to get from the edge to the cloud, right? So that's a big undertaking right there. It's a lot of, around wireless networking, slow satellite connections, lots of different restrictions that come into play there. And once it gets to the cloud, then more can be done, right? So we can do a good amount locally on the edge, and then over the medium into the cloud, we can do more. We can do machine learning. We can do some more scale out cloud computing. And then on top of that, we can layer on the Predix apps and services. And that allows the consumers, our customers, to really get at the results of their data. You know, they say the 1%, like giving back 1% has extreme value to our customers, 1% more efficiency. And so this is the platform that we see helping us get there. So where do we see Open19? So Open19 for us is in this red box right here, really. So we see that we're going to be able to deploy the Open19 into these areas, right? So it's going to be at the edge. It's going to be in the cloud. It's going to be all those areas in different form factors, different deployments, different styles. And as we see that it fits our use cases. So where is Predix? And you know, we're a pretty much global company right now. GE obviously is global, but Predix is growing as well globally as a business of GE. And you know, these are some locations that we've deployed Predix at. Rio de Janeiro is a neat one with the Olympics and some paddle sensors for that event. And we really think that the Open19 platform can play in these kinds of deployments. You know, we monitor everything from gas turbines, smart lighting in cities, and you know, we need a way that we can deploy, you know, servers at scale, quickly, repeatable fashion, and also give us that flexibility of a multi-vendor solution. So San Diego, for example, is a smart grid city with lighting. And it's a mixture of edge devices, sensors, and central compute nodes that put together an ecosystem to give the smart lighting the fabric that it needs to get the IoT data in. And Open19, we think, can play a fit there. So in Mexico, for example, you know, there could be an oil rig, you know, and it has very specific use cases for what gets deployed there. And it needs to be either ruggedized or it needs to be, you know, insulated, and it needs to be a certain size and deployment. So that's another use case that we see. Obviously, spaces and where it's going to vary. And then I guess the last one is the more complex, you know, build out, right? That could be a larger deployment, such as Dubai for oil, you know, their factories and what they have. Liquefied propane and other kinds of components that we see these varied deployments. And as everybody knows, you know, when you spec out systems and when you design and architect, it's really hard to hit a moving target with a lot of these. You know, we have customers' needs that vary, and you know, to change even one component of those systems is very difficult historically. You know, the integration efforts that go into it, everything else that goes into an end-to-end delivery of a system to a customer to get them online and onboarded. And we think Open19 can help us accelerate that, move faster, and provide better solutions to our customers with GE for Predix. So, you know, overall, I think, you know, when Yuval came and talked to us initially, it really resonated with me for a lot of the challenges that we see for GE and digital and Predix, what we're working on with our clients. And we think it can solve a lot of the challenges and problems that we have as we scale and grow and, you know, meet the needs of our customers. You know, we don't always have, some of these deployments aren't large scale out deployments, right? We can't buy thousands of servers for these out of the gate. So it is nice to have the flexibility the platform is going to provide. And we think working with the vendors and a vendor agnostic solution and being able to have them side by side in these bricks, in these chassis is going to be really, really powerful for us as we grow. So with that, that's what I have. You know, really happy and proud to be here, standing here talking to you guys today about GE and Predix and what we're going to do with Open19 in the future.